delivering a superb learning experience, where we talk about how you can leverage your expertise so that you can scale, create impact, and live the lifestyle you love. And in this week's Tuesday Talk, we're talking about selecting the right platform for your online course or program. It's a common question that we often get asked. And it's one of those things that we frequently see being posted in Facebook groups and other forums. What platform should I use? What platform's best? What platform do people like? And it's a great question, but often it's asked in the wrong time. Or it actually shouldn't be asked of other people because there's so many other factors to consider. Just going and asking someone, another course creator or another coach or consultant, what platform they're using and what they like is not necessarily the best question, because how they're using it, what they're using it for, the different things that they might be doing compared to what the other person wants to do is really going to have an impact. So there's more than just simply asking that question around the platform. As we go through, if we actually do the homework first, there's a whole process that we need to do. There's a whole process that we take our clients through, from where we start off with helping them to nail their niche, to really understand their target market and who they're aiming at, to taking them through and crafting their pitch, where we help them to create visual models that explain the program that they're developing and the process that people follow and the benefits that people are going to get from that program. We help them to design their ecosystem of experiences, whether that be an online course, a masterclass, a membership site, a free ebook, a mini course. There's a whole range of different things that can sit in this ecosystem. And it's all going to depend on what that pitch and program is that's being developed. Depends on exactly what they're trying to achieve. We then go and help them to promote their program. We then go and build their assets. Then, as you can see, one of the final things that we do in that is setting up the systems. And that's because there's all those things we need to consider beforehand. It's a whole range of different questions that we need to ask before we go down the path of implementing a learning platform. So jumping straight in and going, I want to create a course, right, what's the first platform? What platform should I use? And asking that question first is the wrong question at the wrong time. Need to do all of that homework and a lot of questions to consider. So what are those questions? What are those things? Well, there's a whole range of different questions. But before we jump into that, great quote there. If all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Okay. And the importance of asking those questions is that you have a great understanding of what you're doing. You have a great understanding of what you're trying to create. You have an understanding of what you're trying to need. And if you don't, then if you just select your tool to start with, then everything's going to look the same. And you're going to be limited in the type of experience that you can create. You're going to be limited in what you can do with your program. So, first question is to really ask that question around, what is the experience that you want to create? Is it purely an online program? Is it a self-paced online program that people go through in their own time? Is it a masterclass? Is it a membership site? Is it part of an ongoing blended program where people are engaging with you maybe in a face-to-face or on a virtual session, as well as engaging in online materials? What is that experience? What is it that you want people to do? So many courses that we see are just simply video-based courses, and they're very, very passive type courses. And question is, what are the features that you need? Okay. And often people go, right, I just want to build a video-based course. Now, video is a great medium, don't get me wrong, but it shouldn't be the only medium. And if you're creating this video-based course, it becomes this very passive experience. And you might go, hang on, I want to have other features. I want to make it a more of an engaging experience. I want people to engage with the content. I need to, get people to apply their knowledge as I'm going through this experience. I want them to do things, not just be a passive observer of my videos. So think about, what are those features that you need? Do you need people to actually interact with things? Do you need them to, do things online on the course? Do you need them to interact with a video or a quiz or other things like that? Because there's a whole range of platforms out there. But some of those platforms only allow you to put up a video or maybe a PDF. They don't allow you to add up other interactive resources. They don't allow you to load up a SCORM course, or don't allow you to create some sort of other interactive elements. But then there are platforms that do that. And so thinking first of all about the experience you want to create and the features that you need, whether it being a passive course or something a little bit more interactive. How do you want people to participate? Are they going to be doing it? Are they going to be engaging with you? Okay, is it something where you need them to be joining into a community? Are they going to be engaging with you in other ways? Are they going to be participating? Or again, as I said before, is it just simply a passive experience? Passive experience is probably not the best experience. You want them to be active participants. And how is that participation going to occur? Are you going to encourage social learning? We are social creatures. We love to learn from and with each other. It's one of the things that makes face-to-face training or learning so great, because we get to be in a social group. We get to engage with people, and we get to share our knowledge, and we get to learn from and with each other. Now, often that's lost when we go into the online space, when we start creating digital learning assets. And so thinking about that, well, do you actually want to encourage this social learning? Do you want to have a community? Do you want to have people have the ability to engage with each other? And if you do, again, different platforms, different features. Some allow it, some don't. So a couple of different things there you need to consider as part of that whole experience. What is the experience that you want to create? And again, is it a single course? Is it a bundle? Is it a membership site? What does that look like? Because again, different platforms, different things. So a number of different questions to consider as part of that. What type of experience do you want to create? The other question is, and then around the systems, what systems features do you have or do you need? Do you need it to connect to a CRM? You might already have a CRM, customer relationship management database. You might have something that you're using to send out emails, or maybe you don't, and maybe you need one, and you need to consider, does that system, does that learning platform connect with that CRM? Or do you want the platform to do it for you? Some platforms do have those features, do have a bit of an inbuilt CRM that will send out emails. Others don't. So certainly consider, what does that look like? Payment gateways. How are you collecting payment? It's a critical thing. If you want to make money out of this, if you want to actually be a profitable enterprise, you need to be able to collect payment. You need to be able to have some sort of gateway, whether that be Stripe, PayPal, or something else. So the platform needs to be able to integrate with those different things. So it's a matter of thinking about, what are those systems that you need? And then where does it fit into your other systems? As I mentioned before, you've got a CRM. Do you have an existing CRM? Do you have other systems that you're already using in your business? And if you do, great. Then you're going to bring in the learning platform. Then you need to make sure that it's going to be able to integrate. So whether that's a direct integration from the platform to those systems, or whether it allows you to set something up like through Zapier, for example, and have Zaps that then will integrate with those. but it needs to be able to have that integration. Otherwise, it's just going to be a platform sitting on its own, and then there's going to be a lot of manual processes to bring student data across into the new platform, maybe into the CRM, so you can send emails out. And you don't want to be doing that manually. So you really need to think about, what does that look like? And think about, where does this fit into all of your other systems? Does it integrate nicely? And if it does, great. If it doesn't, well, is it the best platform for you? Then you also need to think about the marketing functionality. Okay. Now, some people will be out there and they've already got a captive audience. Maybe it's through their Facebook group, or maybe they're delivering through to a corporate audience, or through some other means that they're attracting people. And in which case, maybe their learning platform doesn't need to have a huge amount of marketing functionality. What I mean by marketing functionality, does it need a landing page? Does it need something that people are going to come to, possibly a cold audience that come to, that they can see what the course or what the program is all about? In other cases, you might be marketing to a cold audience. You might need a landing page for people to come and go, oh, this is what this course is about. Right, that solves my problem. That's the solution that I need. And if you're marketing to that cold audience, then yes, you're going to need that. Or maybe you've already got some systems in place. Maybe you're using landing pages or some other landing page tool, and that's all covered. But again, it's a question to be asked. And then, does it need a sales funnel? Do you already have sales funnel set up in other tools? Or do you want a sales funnel to sit within your learning platform? So a couple of other questions there to do with the marketing functionality. And then one of the final questions, but then again, probably one of the more important questions, is that question around budget. Because, as I said, there's a whole range of different learning platforms out there, a whole range of different features, but also a whole range of different price points, where you can be paying a per month or per annual fee, be paying a low fee, you could be paying a high fee. You might be lucky enough to get into a platform in its early stages, and they might be offering a lifetime membership to the platform if you jump in early. You might also have a platform where you've got to pay per user. So it's really a matter of understanding, what is your budget? What can you afford to pay? What do you need to spend? What is it going to cost you moving forward? For a year or 3 or 5 years, whatever that might be. So really thinking about the budget that you want to spend. So 4 really big key questions that you need to ask yourself before you even start looking at the different platforms. Okay, you need to consider, what is the experience you need to create? What systems do you What system features do you have or need? What marketing functionality is needed? And what is your budget? So sit down and ask yourself those questions before you start selecting the learning platform. Now, you're probably then asking, well, what platform is best? And I can't answer that question, because it comes back to all of these other questions that we asked. Okay? You might want to create a completely different experience to what I'm creating. You might want to have something that is going to be quite different. You might have different system features. You might have different marketing functionality that you need. You have a completely different budget. So there's a whole range of different platforms that are available. So I can't give you a definitive answer around what platform is best. But what I can do is, and this is coming from my 22, 23 years plus experience as a learning designer, where I've spent a lot of time looking at a lot of different platforms in the past 5-10 years. There's more and more coming on board, looking at different learning management systems, learning experience platforms, whole range of different things. And some of those learning management systems, learning experience platforms, are very much geared for the large corporate market. They don't have the functionality of the marketing because that's already, well, that's not needed quite often because they're delivering to a captive audience. They're delivering to their employee base. They're often also quite a high budget. So for the coach or consultant that we're working with, it's probably way beyond their budget. There's a whole range of other learning experience platforms that are out there. But yet there's also a number of smaller platforms that are ideally suited to the solopreneur, to the small to medium business that wants to create a course, that wants to launch some sort of online learning program. So I'm just talk about a couple of those that I see that really tick a number of boxes. The first one is LearnWorlds. And this is what we're using for our course platform, for our academy. Okay? It is one that is ticks a number of our boxes, allows us to create a whole range of different experiences. There's a number of platforms out there, as I said, that are very limited. You can only put in video and maybe a PDF or a PowerPoint. You can't actually go and create anything interactive. LearnWorlds allows us to put up SCORM files, allows us to add in other interactive content. We can do things, we can create these ebooks inside it that the users can then mark up and highlight and make notes. And the usability of that platform is, pretty nice. Very easy for learners to use, but also very easy for our team and our clients to use if they are going forward and updating and managing any of that content. So for me, LearnWorlds ticks a lot of boxes. It's also quite a relatively cost-effective sort of platform. The other platform, I suppose, that ticks a lot of boxes is Kajabi. And it's very much a bit of an all-in-one. So it's got some of the sales funnels and the CRM built into it. But it doesn't necessarily have as good a learning experience tool to create interactive elements inside the platform as what something like LearnWorlds does. It also comes at a higher cost, probably because it's got quite a lot of tools in there. And again, it depends on what you're trying to do, what you're trying to create. I suppose I often talk about Kajabi being like a four-wheel drive. It's got this whole range of features there. And often we see people buying four-wheel drives, but they buy four-wheel drives, but very rarely do they take them off-road. Very rarely do they use all the features. And I'm seeing the same with a number of course creators that go, okay, great. Someone told me Kajabi is the best platform. I want the best platform. And they're using it and they're paying for it, but they're not necessarily using all of the features. So something to consider if you're going to use all of the features that are available inside Kajabi. Another platform that you might consider if you want something app-based, if you want something that's going to integrate with a marketplace, is a platform like Master Dojo. Australian-based, nice, very up-and-coming platform. There's still some limitations with the type of content you can create. As I talked before about uploading SCORM files, so these are files created in an external authoring tool. Can't be done, but you're able to do embeds. You can put in video, you can put in a whole range of other content. And it's got some other great features there. It allows you to really capture some great testimonials from your clients very, very easily inside the platform. And as I mentioned, it's part of a marketplace. So your course could be there and would be in a marketplace with a whole range of other courses, which can eliminate or reduce some of the marketing that you need to do for your own course. Experiencefy. Okay. Again, coming back to the experience you want to create. One of the things I didn't mention when we're talking about the type of experiences is, do you want to actually maybe add in gamification? That concept of adding badges and points, or doing other things to try and motivate people, to reward people for their achievement. And if that's a big thing for you, then Experiencefy is one of the great platforms that allows you to do that. It has some great tools in there to add in points, badges, to really gamify the whole learning experience. Again, limited in some of the content that you can actually put into the learning platform, but really does a great job in that gamification piece. And then the other platform that you might want to consider is Mighty Networks. And again, comes back to that question about what is that experience you want to create. Okay. Had a conversation with a client, and the discussion basically ended up being that what they really wanted, they wanted to build a community. They wanted to have this raving, great community. Well, I want to build a tribe of followers and like-minded people, and wanted to promote courses to them. Quite different to just trying to sell courses. That whole community building piece was a big thing for them because of what they did, who they were. And Mighty Networks was basically the ideal platform for them. Okay, it is very much a community-based platform that you can then have courses part of. But community is a big thing for it. And it probably is much bigger in the community side of things than platforms like LearnWorlds, Kajabi, Experiencify, Master Dojo. So again, coming back to that experience, creating something that is going to be very community-driven, then Mighty Networks might be the platform for you. So that's just a couple of platforms. There's a whole. So if you're interested in investigating some more learning platforms, then jump onto our academy. There's a link there. We've got a free guide, the ultimate guide to learning platforms. I think we've got, I'm not sure, what's maybe 18, it could be more, I can't remember now, of different learning platforms. Okay, and that's both standalone platforms and those that are WordPress plugins. So have a look at that. It's a free guide that we've set up based on a whole range of research that we've done looking at a number of platforms. So please jump in there if you're interested in finding out more and seeing which platform is going to be the best for you. So thank you very much for tuning in for this week's Tuesday Talk. As usual, any questions, comments, please post them in the chat box below, whether that be on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, however you're tuning into our Tuesday Talk. Any questions, comments, jump in. Me or the team will be monitoring them, and we'll be commenting and answering those questions for you. Thank you very much for tuning in. And certainly if you want to get more involved with us, jump on and join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Edupreneur Hub. And look forward to catching you next week for our next Tuesday Talk.